I want to start with history. It was August 1787. It's when Thomas Jefferson authored a letter to his nephew Peter Carr, who had lived with Jefferson at Monticello. At the time, Jefferson was living in Paris while serving as a diplomat for the emerging American nation. And in the letter, Jefferson advised Carr about various topics, because it was his nephew, and his parents had died. And the last thing his father said was, Thomas, you're the smartest guy, most well-educated man. You're self-educated. Can you please tutor my son? He covered all kinds of topics in this letter, mathematics, literature. The last thing was religion. And he wrote this about religion to Peter. Fix reason firmly in her seat, and call to her tribunal every fact and every opinion. Question with boldness even the existence of a God, because if there be one, he must surely approve the homage of reason than that of blindfolded fear. When I first read that, I could not imagine the world where you were afraid to question things. I read this in probably 1994. Listen to that. Fix reason firmly in her seat, and call to her tribunal every fact and every opinion. Question with boldness even the existence of God, which at that time, you couldn't question the existence of God. Because if there be one, he must surely approve the homage of reason than that of blindfolded fear. Of course he does. Reason is what makes us, separates us from the animal and our animal instinct of fear and rage. Those words changed my life. Changed my life. There were questions that I didn't want to ask about my mother's death, myself, my childhood, my future. I avoided all of these things. And I was in AA at the time, and I thought I was asking the really important questions, but there were no-go zones for me. There were things I didn't want to know, because quite honestly, I didn't know if there was anything inside of me. I didn't know if there was anything good or worthy inside of me. There was certainly nothing I had ever met. And I was afraid that if I kept uncovering stuff in me, I would find that there was just nothing in there. I have done my best to live to the best of my ability by those words. I think that's what we connect on. You may not always agree with me, but you at least can understand that I'm trying to reason things out, and I'm willing to accept the truth wherever it falls. Now in America, questioning has become very dangerous business. There are people in power that wish that you and I would just shut our pie hole and do exactly what we're told. But that goes against everything this country has ever been. Now, it would make it a lot easier for the ruling class to achieve its goals of furthering consolidating its wealth and authority over everyone. And while they are telling us not to question, not to use reason, just listen to the experts, the most important thing you can do today is question with boldness. Because the roots of so many of today's problems are concealed. And only asking for the truth can we discover it and chart a new course, one that we're all behind, one that we all understand. This book, The Great Reset, that comes out today, is absolutely vital for every single American to read. It is vital, because it answers so many questions. Why are large corporations becoming champions of woke causes? Why are they engaging in political debates about things like voter ID laws when no one wants them there? And they're isolating sometimes half, if not more, of their audience, of the buying power of the United States. Have you wondered, why did the stock market grow substantially through 2020 and 2021 despite the biggest economic collapse in history? Why are housing prices skyrocketing right now? Why? Why are politicians in both Democratic and Republican parties spending trillions of dollars more than the government takes in? Why is no one suddenly afraid of inflation? Why are all the central banks all around the world talking about creating their own new digital currencies? Why are the people who claim climate change is an existential threat to human life building mansions on islands or on beaches, despite the alleged fears of rising sea levels? Why are they flying around the world in private jets that spew carbon dioxide into the atmosphere if it is almost too late? Why are the social media giants scrambling to stifle speech at every turn? Why is it getting worse so fast? Why are web hosting companies shutting down massive platforms that advocate free speech, silencing millions of people? Why are the heads of numerous Western countries, including Canada, France, the United Kingdom, America, Japan, all using the same Build Back Better slogan? Why are leading figures on the left, including President Joe Biden, calling for stakeholder capitalism? And what's the difference between stakeholder capitalism and free market capitalism? Why is it none of us really trust many of our society's most important institutions? Why does the media pay more attention to a tweet from Donald Trump than to a mob burning down a police station or to rioters taking over whole city blocks for days at a time? Why is it we're being encouraged not to have an honest dialogue anymore? Why has political discourse become so vitriolic? Why are people on the ideological right and left being canceled for the slightest misstep? Why were the size and scope of the coronavirus-related stimulus programs so large? Why did the government officials distribute thousands of dollars to families who never lost their jobs or suffered from any economic hardship during the pandemic? Why were giant corporations allowed to stay open during the COVID-19 pandemic while so many small businesses were forced to close and everybody lost everything? Why has President Joe Biden worked so hard to impose coronavirus vaccine mandates on Americans, regardless of whether they've already developed natural immunity? Why have people been vaccinated, forced in many states to also wear masks in public places, even when there are very few people present? These are some of the questions that have to be asked. Because the answer always leads back to three words: the Great Reset. It is the most important topic of my lifetime. It is the most important topic in your lifetime. This is our great world war. Because it's not just the flame of America, freedom and liberty. It is the flame being snuffed out everywhere. I'm sure you're not going to agree with everything in this book. I'm sure many of your friends will not agree. But I truly believe that if you approach the Great Reset with an open mind and a commitment to questioning everything and pursuing the truth, wherever that truth may end up, you will agree that the United States and the entirety of Western civilization is in grave peril, and we are entering our darkest hour. Only resistance from those who believe in democratic freedom principles and individual liberty will be able to stop this. Your journey begins today. Pick up the book, The Great Reset. Answer these questions. Pass this book on to as many friends as you possibly can. This is an urgent call. I wish this book could have come out last year, but it was so hard for our team to get our arms around it because it is massive and it is everywhere. There are about 50 pages of footnotes, so you know where every single fact comes from. I urge you not to go online and look at conspiracy sites or anything that is not of direct quotation from the people at the World Economic Forum or any of them involved in the different governments or from our own government. You can learn so much just by going to whitehouse.gov and the World Economic Forum. It's all there. We've tried to make it easy for you in a, 300-some page book. It's available right now. Please order. Just go to glensnewbook.com. That's glensnewbook.com. Order your copy today and begin your journey to freedom. Real, lasting freedom. It answers all of the questions on how did we get here? What are they really doing? You will not be surprised when you see things happen in the news. All this whole time, we've had to look at the news and go, why is this happening? How is this happening? When did this happen? It's happening right now, and you want to know why? Read The Great Reset, Joe Biden and the Rise of 21st Century Fascism. It's available at glensnewbook.com.